All right, thank you. We will now, okay, look at the questions here. Okay, so here's a quick reminder. What may trigger stress reaction in you? How does stress affect your well-being? And number two, in the Buddha's eyes, why are we suffering? Reflect on your stressor and share with us the understanding of your stress. So let's have group one first. Can you please share the outcome of your discussion? Group one, can we have group one, please? I will stop sharing and group one can share their screen.
Sister Layan?
Where are you? Where
Okay,
are you?
yeah. We are from group one. Okay. Our group shared about the first questions. What is the stress? Sister Kim said how to talk is a part of stress. And I'm now very stressful. And think too much. Many people, many of us agree that we think too much and think of the things not yet happened and things of the things not the way of our thinking not positive. Okay, Brother Mike say think of those unnecessary things based on our past experience causing the stress. Shamila said too much of stress until don't know how to express. Okay, and Brother Bernard said stress is a natural kind of things lah. So keep the stress in check and take stress when it comes along. Okay, my point of view for stress now is due to COVID cases. There's many COVID cases around me, my friends, my family members tested positive, so causing a lot of stress to me. Okay. Sister Sukin said every day has stress, depends on the degree of stress, and worry too much about our past and our future, and also depends on how we handle the stress. Venerable Soton Song said negative information from social medias causing him a lot of stress. Okay, and Arya said doing meditation to reduce stress, and everyone has different perspective and different ways to overcome the stress. We all learn steps by steps how to handle the stress and when the stress come along. Okay, for the second questions, causing, what's the question, sorry? For the second questions, Kim said, think of unthinkable, think too much. Also same lah, go back to the same thing, overthinking. And Brother might say, it linked to the karma to us lah. Whatever actions we have done will bring stress to us. And I also agree with Brother Bernard's point that overthinking is also a suffering. Look at the problem again and again. And he said his point of view, he said he enjoys suffering, and it's a way of entertainment. Okay, so over concerned about others people's opinions on us is also a suffering. Okay, that's the sharing from our group. Thank you.
Thank you, group one. May we have group two now? Thank you, group two. Group two, please share with us.
All right. Okay, for group two, this is what we have discussed. Okay, what stresses you? Okay, the first one is when we encounter a situation that is beyond one's capability to solve it or to resolve a problem with a person. Okay, when things are out of your hand, okay, things don't go the way you plan, and so we become agitated, frustrated, and you feel anger arising in you. And in the long run, it can sometimes cause insomnia and a change of personality, and you become a stranger even to yourself. Okay, then we move on to question number two. Okay, we feel that all of us actually go through all three different types of sufferings, as mentioned in the sutta, okay, because everybody is aging, okay. Sometimes we think to ourselves, hey, I was able to do this last time, but now I'm not able to do so. And we are very much attached to happiness, our concept of happiness, okay. And this desire for happiness sometimes causes us suffering, okay. And as seen during COVID times, okay, many of us are separated from our loved ones, okay, and this causes us suffering as well. So that's all from group 2.
Thank you, group 2. So can we have group 3? I'll present the screen for group 3. Okay. So Sister Joyce, are you ready? Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, I'm trying to share the slideshow. Okay. Sister Joyce?
Good afternoon, everyone. What we have discussed in our group 3, the first statement was from me. Stress comes from mindset. Stress will affect the immune system because due to the bad white there. And this is from Sister I forgot the name. So, stress comes from environment. From Sister Michelle. Stress comes from environment, work, and not getting what we want. For example, tell the son to stop playing games, but he doesn't. So start to dislike and get angry, and lead to have not to have a good sleep. Accumulate, so is the bad for the body, especially in testing, according to Sister Michelle. And body ache, pain of the neck, shoulder, and lower back. Expectations not met from self, not sleeping well, and source of other pain support. And this is the stress also comes from mindset, how you take it, work in pressure, social environment, human relationships also cause the stress, low grade periods for months, and it disappeared for weeks away, for weeks away from the school. Maybe blood pressure also has gone up. Stress also comes from work and family. Again, it's all mindset. And sleep and sense. And question number 2, in the Buddha's eyes, what are we suffering? So we have discussed and we come to this conclusion. We have to learn from suffering. That's why, because we are human, life is suffering. Life is a path. Change is a constant, and the uncertainty causes stress. Fear of unknown is stressful. Stress is not finishing what you expect to do. And follow the Noble Eightfold Path to overcome stress. That's about all from group 3.
Okay, thank you, group 3. So let me just share. All right, thank you all the groups for sharing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So now we have moved on. 1 minute, sorry. We're going to introduce our speaker first. Okay. So today we are very grateful to have Sister Mei Liu, our Dhamma speaker for today. This is Sister Mei Liu. She's a senior clinical psychologist who is certified mindful parenting instructor and international staff for the academic multimedia library for the family. Okay. She's also from the background, a psychotherapy from academy in Italy. She's the principal of Sunday Dhamma School in Seremban Sudama Buddhist Society. She's a Dhamma facilitator and helper for various Buddhist society. Okay. for example, AVMC Ariya, GF, KMBS, and FGS. She's also an EXCO member and speaker at the KL Buddhist Mental Association and Malaysia Association for Mindfulness Practice and Research. Okay, so this is our session for, oh, sorry, can you see the slides just now? I'm so sorry, I'm not very good with the slides. Okay, so can you see the slides just now when I shared about Sister Mei Liu? Sorry, Sister Mei Liu. Okay, is that okay?
No problem, no problem. Yeah, you're done already. That's good. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, Sister Jun, Lee, for your introductions. Sugi Hotu, good evening. Good evening. Good afternoon to Ayah, venerables, and all of the fellow friends today. I was joining your group discussions, and I think that okay, good lah. I no need to explain so many. You all seems to be on the track. I was like group 2 also like wow, too thorough study, man. To the sutta and all that. Wow, very good, very dedicated. All the right efforts to put into discussions and all that. So sadhu to what you have discussed and shared just now. I kind of like how you all very go straight to the point and talk about mind, you know. That's one of the things why we are here today, to learn more about managing our life and also our mind for ourselves. So I like to share about this topic from firstly from the psychological perspective, whereas this is more the Western theories and the psychologists come up with about what is stress and all that, and then further we can go on with the what Buddha say about stress. And I believe the perspective of stress in the psychologist's eye and the Buddha's eye are much different in terms of depthness. Yeah. So we had talked about the 2 questions just now. In fact, some have already moved on to the 3rd questions, the second part of the session, where we talk about how to manage stress. Of course, working the Noble Eightfold Path is the ultimate practice that will lead us to reach the ultimate destinations, yeah, for all of us, all of the being then. So in here, just like to share, I think there was a group just now, I think group 3 that already mentions, yeah, that stress is because you can't do what you are perceived or what you are asked to do or what you expect to do. So stress itself is a state of psychological and physical tension. Many of the time when we talk about stress, we think about psychological only, but it's actually also affected our physical part of it. Like some of you mentioned headache, you know, the body aching or tense up and then tight and then painful feelings and all that. And this stress is produced when a person perceives he or she can't cope with the demand. So hence there's a stress. But this stress, we have 2 types of stress. I heard Ayah mentioned in the group 1, I think, yeah, talking about good stress and bad stress. So when it's good stress, we call like in what I call psychological term, we name it as eustress, EU and stress. Then, so eustress is good stress. That means it acts like a motivator or motivations for us to do things. Yeah. So, but when it is too much, then it becomes stress that affected our well-being then. So. And on the part where you all talk about what triggers stress in you all, right? So basically, some are saying think too much, and then COVID, yeah, cannot control, right? We can't control COVID. We can't ask COVID to go back, right? And then we also think to what I used to be, right? Like I used to be this good, and then now I cannot, or like we concerned about what people think of us and all that. So in here, the psychologists try to categorize the stressor into 3 types. The unsettling effect of change, that's first type. Like this, COVID is constant change. What now we said in Singapore, not here yet. We said outside no need to wear mask already. Where no need to wear mask, also we very scared now. Right? Like so we want to go back to the what we call the last time norm. It's so hard for us to uncover our face, yeah, to people then. And but it was in the beginning, it was so hard for us to wear masks as well. It's like heaty lah, hot lah, difficult to breathe lah, and then the glasses got this what they call the steam, especially for us to wear glasses. A lot of challenges we have to overcome. So this kind of change always brings a lot of unsettling effects. It's like never good feeling about anything that is keep constant, like constantly keep changing then. And the second part of it is that the outside force is challenging or threatening. Yeah, again, the COVID. So, or going to school is also like something challenging, or going back, like you work from home maybe for 2 years, now you have to go back to your office. It's like, what? I would rather work from home then. I don't have to stuck myself in the jam, or, be affected if my colleague, also got COVID and all that, right? So we feel that, that something outside that is threatening, yeah, especially now is the invisible virus that we can't see, yeah. And the last part is the third type is the feeling of having lost personal control. This is what somebody mentioned just now, that like, yeah, I can't expect, or I can't do what I wanted to do, or I can't control what I can do because of the consistent changes then. So all these three types of stresses that actually give us the, trigger the stress effect or the stress reactions in us then. Small thing like daily routines, yeah. It can also, because of the, especially for certain people who are quite rigid, I want to use the word rigid, or quite used to certain routine, yeah. For certain thing they do certain way, and then when it has to be changed, then it just say, for example, the timing, you expect to meet the person at 9 a.m. but the person come at 9:30, and then you already feel very angry. Or like, you will start to feel frustrated because of the consequent change of arrangements of things and whatnot then. So these small little things, yeah, it triggered the stressor, especially for people who are so good for people who are so used to planning and so used to planning and stick to the planning then. Yeah, used to planning is okay, but only want to stick to the planning, that is the problem then. Yeah. So, and in here we can say that there are 4 main stresses in our daily living. Money, this is a big concern, right? No money, no talk. Because we are living in the mundane world, yeah. So the financial part is a big part of it. A lot of people have been affected during COVID, and even have to withdraw EPF money, yeah, to think about survive now. Yeah, we don't know whether People will say we don't know whether we can live until 60 years old or not, but we need to survive now then. So to take or not to take is a big question as well for people. Yeah, government to give or not to give also. Yeah, that's really a very up to a personal decisions. Of course, there are consequences need to be taken in considerations as well then. And money is very much related to work. Yeah. So this is the second part of it, that work is also, I think people are more easily stressed by work than by own health concerns, maybe. Like they have headache, they have maybe a gastric, yeah, but they will still pop the pills and then go to work then. The work are much more the bigger part of them compared to the health concerns, unless the health concerns is like, you know, the big one, like cancer, like maybe pneumonia, like you really cannot go, right? Then it becomes the bigger part of them then. So of course, money, work is also tied up to these family responsibilities. Some of us maybe that have choose to go how do I say, withdraw from the career world and take a less active role in work, and then they take up family responsibilities. And you can see family issues is one of the big issues nowadays, due to COVID, one part of it, and also, I mean, I think not one part of it, big part of it, because of their MCO, the limited restricted order not to go out. So you have to face more family responsibility, and hence family relationship, family problems are also arising. Divorce and what they call separations also much raised. Yeah, be part of the consequences of this this recent 2 years changes then. So what does stress affect? Well, many of us already know. Yeah, stress, if we talk about the physical ones, right? It affects our immune system. I know the group 3, group 2 or group 3 mentioned about it affect the immune system, right? And also some may have gastric, some may have chronic heart disease or the high blood pressure, cholesterol and whatnot. Then, of course, there are what are called the other factors that need to be counted in, like the way that you eat, your lifestyle, and then what else, your genetic compositions and all that. But stress does definitely do some contributions to your health. And of course, not only to the body, it also affects the mind, where now depressions is one part, big part of it. After COVID, what we call the third wave or maybe fourth wave, yeah, of concern is the mental illness that is rising. Depression, anxiety, these two are the very common one, especially now that like there were one system sharing about friends getting COVID, right? Yeah. So friends getting COVID, you get anxiety. You're not getting COVID, but your friends getting COVID, but you're the one maybe can get anxiety as well, because you are worried that, oh, am I the carrier, or am I also gonna contracted the COVID and all that. So I told my friends, COVID is not a big problem, but anxiety from getting the COVID or anxiety related to COVID is more the problem then, because COVID can be healed somewhat, yeah. And given the current medical advancement, yeah, so a big part from the COVID patients were recovered, and but the anxiety due to COVID is much harder to be healed then. They will have worries about post-COVID syndrome, and then sleep problems and whatnot. Then. So the mind sickness are more challenging, yeah, compared to the body sickness, then, yeah, because it's unseen. It's very hard to be what they call measured, yeah. So people will think that I'm still okay, but maybe after certain years, then you realize that, oh, actually I was actually having depression at that time. Now that I reflected back, maybe it started from that time. A lot of patients would tell me things like that, yeah, when they start to reflect. And this recent one, if you read newspaper, do you watch the video? I'm not sure, Bante or Ariya, did you see this? This is a live Oscar ceremony where the comedian was talking about a joke, and then this Will Smith got offended, and then he went and give him a big slap in front of so many audience, live audience across the world. I mean, this the effects of this event lingers for a few days after that. And people got a lot of voices come out. Like he should have take people's illness to make a joke of it. And then people will say, oh, Will Smith is the one that slapped the people. That is too what I call overprotective of the family, and love cannot be what I call expressed through aggressions and whatnot. Then, and people are stressed by this, you know, because Will Smith is such a idol, yeah, to many people. Then, but his behavior is very confusing. We know that he is wanting to protect, but that kind of aggressions give people stress. Then, so stress can be easily spread. Even you're not there, you just witness a video, or you just witness, you just see the drama. So if we like to watch those drama with a lot of crying lah, or shouting lah, or sadness, you will find yourself, yeah, you will actually be affected as well. You know, our eyes, our ears, our mind are actually what I call tainted or receiving, yeah, this kind of vibes, even though it's a make one. That means you know it's drama, yeah, it's not real, but you still affected, you still cry about it. And that's how strong that our consciousness, yeah, our mind can be affected, yeah, through our eyes, ears, nose, smell, so forth and so on. That, yeah. So in here, the triggered, the comedian, the reactions, the person who reacted is this one, Will Smith. And the person who are involved but not reacted is the wife, because that is a joke because of the wife. And the viewer, the audience, are also affected, given this big part of scene that never expected. So you see, in the stress reactions, there is a trigger, there is a reactions, there is a person involved, that is a viewer. So there's a lot of party, yeah. When we talk about stress, it's not just one side, yeah. There's a lot of other not directly involved parties as well. Then, and what stress can be what to call can lead to, yeah. We have physical stress, we have perceived stress. What I was talking about just now was perceived stress. Like we saw, and then our mind recognize that, oh, this is anger, this is traumatizing, this is what I call aggressions. Yeah, when we perceive this in our eye, then and we keep perceiving these kind of situations, the stressor keep trigger us. Like we witness maybe parents quarrel in front of us, yeah, daily. And this kind of perceiving stress, it can be slowly transformed or manifested into post-trauma stress or phobia. Yeah, when you see what are called or maybe you are always been reminded, yeah, when you need to go out, you always be reminded, I need to bring this, bring that, have you checked this, off this, you know, like keep be reminded. Then next time you want to go out, you also like, oh, have I off the gas, or have I on the light, or did I have my purse in my bag, something like that, because that reminder, yeah, becomes a form of fear triggering voices in us as well. Then it, you know, lead us to have some phobia of like, or maybe not phobia, like anxiety, yeah, when we want to go out and all that. So one of it, OCD, or obsessive compulsive and disorder, is a form of anxiety where people start to be obsessed about certain things. I have clients during MCO also obsessed about hygiene. They cannot, once they go out, they go back, have to shower many times, and then they don't want to go out. And if they go out, they wear gloves, they wear everything, and they try to reduce of the opportunity to talk to people and touching other things then. So this heightened anxiety become obsessed because of the too much of perceived stress, reported news from the televisions or from the newspaper, and keep hearing people, and then, you know, maybe the social medias, one of it, or from parents, or from neighbors, or from friends. So you become overly fed by those unhelpful informations, and we don't have the what I call capability to digest all this informations. Then we only see it as a fear, or as something that we need to do. We need to avoid it. So hence, the avoidant behavior will come in. Yeah, avoidant or behavior like don't want to go out, or try not to touch, or try not to what I call mingle with people and all that. So this is where the stress become chronic, become illness, become a problem, become a big or disorder. Disorder means already dysfunctional. It affects your daily living then. Yeah. So burnout, fatigue, aggressions, dissociation. Dissociation is actually a form of the mind is what I call dissociate from the reality. Yeah. As if what people would normally say is like they are living in their own world. This is the normal sentence I heard about. Yeah, they're living in their own world like that. So so all this is a form of chronic stress presentations. Yeah. Okay, so I've talked about stress in the more psychological part of it, and how does it affect us. And let's see a little bit about what does stress say in Buddhism, or by the greatest teacher, Buddha. Buddha look at stress in a more deeper and very what I call ultimate, much ultimate than just the form itself, than just the our body itself. Yeah, he named, not he, sorry, the Pali word for stress is dukkha. And what does dukkha mean? We always translate it as stressful, unsatisfactory, or maybe suffering. Yeah, these are the normal translation. But if we have to break it down to look into the exact meaning of this duk and ka, and then you can see, yeah, duk means bad or hurtful or injurious, and ka means empty or void. Then empty and void, it doesn't mean that there's nothing. Yeah, it's not about nothing. It's about the characteristic of emptiness. That means there is no consistency in anything. Yeah. So people are always we always say that you need to be consistent. And right, we have to be do things inconsistent. That is a myth, I would say. And but we hold this myth so strongly. Yeah, we see this as like a truth then. And when we are not being able to be consistent, we are very stressful about it. we feel very bad about it. We think that we are lagging behind. We are not putting much effort because we want ourselves to be consistent, to be like, you know, all the way top up, to be the top students, or to be the always be good in certain things. Then once we lack off, once we start to procrastinate and all that, we will start to see ourselves as something wrong with us. And then we start to judge more. When we procrastinate, we start to judge more. And then that's where that the procrastination is not a problem, but the judging make the procrastination become worse then. Yeah. And because why? Because we want ourselves to be consistent, just like what we say, that we want to keep to our expectations. So I want to clarify, as having expectation is not wrong, but the key word here is we want to keep up to our expectations, or we want to keep to our expectation. The word keep is the one that you suffer. Yeah, because when we can't keep to our expectation, we think ourselves that we're not good enough already. Yeah. So in here, Buddha say, what is stress? What is suffering? We have, I think just now there was a discussion about the 3 types of suffering. Yeah, which I will be talking about it at the, wait, let me see. These 3 forms of stressfulness. Yeah, the stressfulness of pain, which is the suffering of suffering, the stressfulness of fabrications, the suffering of conditioning, and or the conditionality. Yeah, on the stressfulness of change, the suffering of change. Then, so these are the 3 types of suffering. What is the suffering of the pain? The stressfulness of pain. The refers to the birth, birthing, aging, sickness, death, separations, not being able to get what we want, and then getting, or if we get things that we don't want, is also a form of suffering then. And the ultimate part of it, Buddha say, is the clinging of the 5 aggregates then. So this is the first sutta Buddha actually preached, yeah, when he gained enlightenment. In the first sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, he actually mentions to the 5 ascetics. He said there's there's 2 extremes you shouldn't go to. Yeah, one is too tight, one is too loose. Yeah, so and there are this and then he said we should go to the middle path. And then he mentioned the Four Truth in his first sutta, whereby he mentioned the first noble truth, the suffering, and he explained what is suffering. Here is the ultimate one. When we grasp to our 5 aggregates, hence the sufferings come about then. So in this Dukkha Sutta itself, this Dukkha Sutta is actually mentioned by Sariputta, the right hand of Buddha as well. So he also mentioned that he explained this sutta. What's the name already? I forgot. To a disciple, yeah. And then this sutta is a shorter form of sutta lah, yeah. So he mentioned very straightforward, the grasping aggregates of forms, feelings, perceptions, choices or mean the intentions, yeah, the intentions that we form lah, yeah, how we make choices, and the consciousness is the suffering. So I want to highlight the grasping here, yeah? Like what I have highlighted to you, the one thing to keep up, well, one thing to maintain, or to what to call, keep up to what we have, is the one that give us a lot of suffering then. And why does this 5 grasping to these 5 forms, 5 aggregates give us suffering? We can look into what is 5 aggregates? Yeah, so if to look into this 5 aggregate itself, a simple one, form is our physical formations, our eyes, ears, yeah, body, tongue, nose, and all that. We tend to grasp, especially like, I don't know, like for women, yeah, is the presentations of our self, yeah, the complexions, the hair, the the baju, and then the clothes, yeah, and all that. I recently what to call reconnect back with my secondary school friends and all that. We one of the common things that they say, you still like last time, you know, you look like last time, so young and all that. So we take it as a compliment, you see, right? We are happy when people say that we look like last time, so young and so thin, you know. Right? So we feel happy about it. But if somebody gain weight, we will say that, you look different and all that, right? We won't mention to it then, because we know that you know, this kind of saying may offend, or because people are so attached to how we look like, yeah, last time then. So this is the form part of grasping then. Feeling, we grasp on our feelings as well. When we are unhappy, just like one brother mentioned, we want ourselves to suffer. When we feel guilt, like we punish ourselves, yeah. When we feel guilty, we punish ourselves not to eat, not to sleep, you know, keep thinking, yeah. Or we when we are happy, also we want to keep having the happiness, yeah. We maybe keep trying to do different things, yeah, to stir the feelings of happiness in our family, perhaps, yeah. So this is also a form of grasping, yeah. And another grasping of perceptions, yeah. Perceptions is about our recognitions, like we know that say for example ourself as a mother, as a woman, as a daughter-in-law, or as a daughter in the family. So sometimes this kind of perceptions are not helpful when we cling to it. Say for example, we play the role of mother, because the role of mother itself, then when we are not spending time with our children, we feel guilty, right? Because I'm a mother, you know, I don't spend time enough with my children. They grow up so fast already. Now I want to hug them. They don't want me. And then we think that, yeah, you know, I didn't play my mother role so well last time, right? Yeah. So this kind of identity or perceptions, yeah, that we cling to ourselves may not be helpful. And it can be a form of judgment as well. Like people will maybe sometimes we will say that I'm a daughter-in-law, I should treat my mother-in-law well, or I can try to treat my mother-in-law well, you know. What Ariya teach, or what Venerable teaches, that we have to be, you know, be kind to the old generations, but sometimes cannot, my mother-in-law cannot, you know. That would feel so bad, right? And we felt that just we keep clinging to this role of the daughter-in-law, and then we felt that we must do more, right? And that gives us a lot of suffering as well. That, yeah. So perceptions, one of the more easy to end is, this is my child, yeah. Other people child, never mind. Oh, they don't go to tuition. Never mind lah, one time only what. Or doesn't matter lah, the tuition teacher not so good lah. Never mind, choose another one lah. Never mind lah, you just let him play. If your child don't go to tuition, what? Like, what do you do? Huh? I already asked you to go, or online lah, you know, or like I sent you there. What do you do there? Huh? You never improve. This lah, that lah, right? Just because this is my child, yeah. So that perceptions itself make a lot of difference then, yeah. And choices, I would name it as a intentions, or the intentions. Yeah, it's better to understand. So the intentions is also, it can be grasped at certain times then, yeah, that where we sometimes we have bad intentions, then we we see ourselves as bad intention. I share with you, I have one client, very old client, about I think 70 years old. Yeah, not a divorcee, sorry. The wife, she lost her husband. So what's that called? A widow. Yeah, okay, a widow. So she doesn't. Her husband passed away when she was about 30 years old, something like that. So very young. Yeah. So she raised her 3 children up and all that. And then she when she retired, and then when she's staying at home and all that, she is very she become very depressed, because she shared to me that she has very bad intention. She told me, yeah, she said, I don't deserve to leave then, you know, I'm a very bad person. I said, what do you mean then? Yeah, because she said, because I thought of having physical intimacy, maybe sexual, you know, fantasy, you know, with my son then. And then she said, this is very bad, very bad. Yeah. And I really curse myself. How come I can have this kind of fantasy and this kind of intentions, yeah, with my son? That is such a shame then. So to the extent she isolate herself, she distanced herself from her son and from her son's family and all that. But she, even though she had this kind of intention, but she didn't act on it. Yeah. But her grasping on these intentions has made her very much suffer, because she cannot let go. Yeah. She think of that intention is her, you know, like her entire self then. So yeah, so this is one of the example of how we grabs onto our intention, even though it has passed, but we keep grabbing on to this intention, you know, in our mind. And the last one is the consciousness. Consciousness is like anger. We have many consciousness, right? Like one of the example that you mentioned just now in your presentations, like over concern, like overthinking. Overthinking is a form of worry consciousness, like you worrying mind. Yeah. So this is a form of consciousness. When we are overthinking, we are clinging to our worry. We cling to our worry. Yeah. And we keep thinking about it. So this is a form of grasping. Sometimes we also feel guilty. We cling to the guilt. We cannot let go, or we don't want to let go. Yeah. So all these are form of stress. Yeah. I'm aware about my time. I have until 3:50, is it? Or I don't know, or already past time already. Sister Jun Lee. Okay, never mind. You remind me. Sorry. Okay. So
Don't worry, Sister May. Yes,
Okay,
you can
thank you.
continue. Okay.
So this now was the clinging to the 5 aggregates. We have another form of clinging that is called the identity view clinging. We cling all these things, yeah? The form, feeling, perceptions, volitional formations, or the intentions, consciousness to me, myself, and I. Okay, first of all, we have this, yeah? And second of all, we cling these are all mine, yeah? So there's 2 levels. Like, first of all, you have expectation. Maybe your expectation is unreasonable at time. Doesn't matter. But then second of all, you say, this is my expectation. Can you differentiate it? Yeah. So when you name it the my expectations, or this is me, yeah, this is how I am, how I was, yeah, I was this happy, I was that, you know, active or whatnot, then it become the 2 level of clinging. Yeah. One is your expectation, and another one is your identity view then. So the clinging to me, myself, and I is the what we call the ignorance that we all have. Yeah, we all have. And sometimes we don't even recognize it. Yeah, that we take it so natural that isn't it supposed to be like this? We will say, yeah. Of course, yeah. Like we will say, this is my problem. I should have been responsible to it. Isn't it so? This sentence sounds like no problem, but also there's a problem. Yeah, my depression patients will always tell to me, this is my problem. I don't want to trouble other people. Yeah, I don't want to let people worry about me then. So they are clinging a lot to, this is my problem. They cling on the mind. Yeah, not the problem is one thing, but they cling on my problem then. So the the clinging of this itself adds more what are called depthness to the suffering. Yeah. So we have to be very mindful about when we keep saying it's my problem, then because that sentence itself give us blind spot to be able to see things in a more open perspective. Or my problem, or my family problem, my child problem, my attitude problem, or maybe it's not, if it's not mine, then if her, he is also another form of identity view. Yeah, this is his problem. Why should I come in and sit down and listen to you? I got a couple like that one, you know. They don't want to come in because like they think that this is my husband problem, it's not my problem. Yeah, this is another form of identity view as well. Yeah, that attached to the view to certain identity. So when we say identity view, it's not just referring to I, mine. It can be to the other people that. Oops, sorry. Okay, so this one I've mentioned just now a little bit. Yeah, the three types of suffering. The first one is the birth, aging, and the clingingness to the 5 aggregates. Yeah. The second one of this is the conditions. Yeah. This one I'd like to relate to a little bit about how we perceive certain things, like say for example, we have unpleasant feeling. Yeah. Buddha is very, very clear teacher, I would say. Yeah, he teach to a very what are called minute what are called I don't know how to say that word. He's so clear to that small component, one part lead to another. So say for example, when you have unpleasant feelings, where does the unpleasant feeling come from? If you can answer. You feel it when you have unpleasant feeling, where do you feel it? You feel it maybe at your heart, or maybe you feel it from the from your head, yeah, or you feel it not head, your mind, right? Yeah. So where does this unpleasant feeling come from then? Buddha said that it's because of our 5 senses then. Yeah, when we see our children fighting, yeah, our eyes see fighting. When we don't see, it's okay, but when we see, it's not okay. Right? We hear only, we thought, never mind, play for one. But we see already, wow, like that, wow. Or maybe sometimes we hear also, we can get troubled by this, right? So the senses, yeah, where we have our organs, and when we are organ, be in touch with the situations. Say for example, our eye see that situations, the touch of that situations, then it triggered the unpleasant feelings then. And Buddha didn't stop asking why the seeing of the children, and then the touch of that situations, and it create that feeling. He asked why we have the sensory organ. So he asked more questions, why we have eyes, we have ears, and all that. Then he started to know that that's because of the becoming. We want to we want to what do you call we want to have this eyes, ears, and eyes, and mouth, and this body. And why this becoming it happens is because that we have this ignorant or the clinging to the ignorance and all that. I'm trying to explain the dependent originations in a more layman term for you all to understand. This is where the stressfulness of fabrications, where the conditions come from. Yeah, it's more referring to the dependent origination. So when we have feeling, yeah, if we reflect back, it's because of we are in touch with that information. We are in touch with that hearing. We are in touch with that seeing. We are in touch with that smelling, or we are in touch with that thinking. So sometimes when we are in touch with that thinking, so our mind think a lot of things, but we suddenly think of one thing, and then we are in touch with that episode itself, then we will start to feel the stressful come in, and then we'll think more and more then. Yeah. So the another one is the stressfulness of change. So I think this one I will explain more. Let me see. Do you hear there's piano music behind me? No. Okay, thank you. Because I got people playing piano at home. Okay. So the origin of stress itself is the craving then. That leads up to craving and cleaning are slightly different. Craving is what's that word in Pali? Is it tanha? If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Tanha, yeah. Okay, so that clinging is a different. Clinging is, I forgot the Pali word. Sorry.
Upadana.
Upadana. Thank you, Aya. So this is the origin of the stress itself. But we don't. I would not want to say this is like origin of something, but this is conditions of the flowing then. Yeah. So you don't see is like of course you can say that ignorance and then all these are the origin, but it's not one thing. Then it's not a linear process. What I want to say is not a linear process. It's the circular process itself then. Yeah. Okay. And this craving and stress are like brother and sister. They cannot separate the cycle. I give example, when we feel stressed, we go makan, right? And then we always and then we start to feel that makan, say for example the chocolate, or Bante mentioned just now, eat ice cream, right? So of course it might not be a craving, it's just a stress coping mechanism. But somehow when we are not aware about this process and we start to fall into this cycle, then it becomes the cycles of the craving and the stress itself. When we eat ice cream, we feel happy about it, and then after that we feel stressed about having ice cream. Yeah, like, oh, just now I eat too much already, you know, I feel stressed, you know, or like I feel guilty, or I shouldn't have eaten too much. This is where that is not helpful, and then it make you in that loop again. So another example for kids is like when I feel stressed, or maybe you know, I don't have anything happy in my life. So, but playing games is so happy, right? So I go into the game then. But playing game, it kills my unhappiness. But at the same time, it gives me happiness. But at the same time, it also gives me unhappiness. Like when I'm not happy, when I'm not able to finish my task, when I'm interrupted, when I could not achieve the level. And then they will go back to even do more. Yeah, we're trying to achieve more. We're trying to play longer. We're trying to achieve the level that they want. Once they achieve already, again, yeah, they will go back to the stress of like, I want to achieve more. So this is the cycle. We have many examples: smoking, addictions, and drama binging, yeah, food, and changing partner as well. Yeah, some people changing partner and all that, sex, alcohol, and all that. So this is the cycle that we all in our mundane life are facing. Yeah. So that's all for here today for this session. Okay. I didn't read
Thank you,
the
sister.
chat. Okay.
Thank you, Sister May. Because we like the participants now. This is our question and answer segment. If anyone has any questions for Sister May, please raise your hand and turn on the microphone. Okay. Any questions for Sister May you want to ask? You can do it now, or you can put in the chat box. You look at the chat box and pass it to Sister May, or you can just ask her directly about stress. She's explaining about what is stress.
Very stressful now. To ask questions. No, it's okay. Yeah. If you have any concern about your family member or like, yeah, you can also share that.
Oh, yeah. I have a question for Sister. Thank you for your explanation, which is very good. Really appreciate. Okay, my question is, you mentioned about the word fabrication a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This fabrication, is it what we call in Pali, is papancha a form of fabrication? You know the word papancha?
I'm not good with Pali, sorry.
Okay. I came across the word papancha this morning. So I went into Google to check, then I came across what you mentioned about this fabrication. So I'm not too sure whether are they the same?
This one maybe have to get Aya to explain a little bit. Are they the same then? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Aya?
All right, thank you. For the word prapancha, I think English sometimes they translate as mental proliferation. Yeah.
Okay.
Mental proliferation. And for I think just now what Sister Melu showed on the fabrication, some translator, like let's say Bante Tanisaro, yeah, he used to use the word fabrication, but commonly actually it's translated as mental formation or the sankhara, yeah, sankhara. So of course, prapancha is part of also this mental fabrication, where the prapancha is when the mind tends to grabs on one thought, and then from that thought, then it starts to spin and roll, and where we say the mind proliferate. Means you have one thought, and then that thought become another thought, become another story, and then become a big movie and big drama. And then we always say at the end, you become the director of the whole show. Yeah, but it's all in the fabrication. Is an illusion in the mind, where that's why we say, some people get so scared because of they heighten the whole stories from one thought, or it becomes something that's so angry because also from one thought, because they fabricate a lot of stories and a lot of perception that add in their emotion, add in a lot of things. Yeah. So we have to be aware and careful with our mental proliferation. That's why mindfulness is important, yeah, to bring back the mind to the present, so that the mind are not dragged into illusion or into the proliferation. Yeah.
Thank you. Sadhu.
Thank you, Venerable. Yes. In Lamington, we will say overthinking lah.
Okay, Sister May, there's a question from the chat box from Sister Kim. How can one overcome stress?
This
and
one will
also,
be in second session.
Second session, okay.
Yeah,
and then Venerable Song Tung Swang has put up his hand. Maybe you want to ask a question, Venerable?
Venerable, please unmute yourself, Venerable.
Unmute yourself, Venerable.
Good afternoon. I see the slide. Suffering or dukkha is the same as stress. So I want you to clarify, is the same or different? And I love to know something from the evidence. It's new for me to. I hear the stress is the same as the dukkha, suffering.
Okay, so Bante, you mentioned about
It's the same or different?
the dukkha, the suffering and the stress. Is it the same? Is it? It wasn't clear for me, Bante, just now.
I want you to clarify that the terminology stress and dukkha is the same or different.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Bante. From the I'm not talking from the I was saying about the stress from the beginning in the psychological perspective, yeah. And then after that, I was saying I was explaining the stress in the Buddhism perspective. Then, so I will say that it's not entirely the same. Like I said, the depthness of that suffering or the dukkha that mentioned by Buddha is much more in depth than the what we perceive, the what was mentioned in the psychological perspective and terminologies. Yeah. So I was differentiating what was the psychological perspective of stress in the beginning, and then I'm talking about the suffering or the stress in the Buddhism, which is much more in depth than the psychological perspective. So I would say there are similarities, but it's not entirely the same. Does that answer you, Bante?
Yes, I get it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bante.
Okay, do we have any more questions from the audience about stress or dukkha or the stressfulness of pain, fabrications, and change? If not, maybe we can maybe invite Aya to say a few words on our topic this week, this session about stress. Aya.
All right. So I think we all smile away with this topic. So I suppose everybody are not so stressful. So that's good. So all right, I think just now probably a very good highlight by Sister May. It also refreshed us on the understanding of course, the term stress. So even today, in our life, we hear from a very young person. I mean, during our time, we hardly even hear the word stress among us. But nowadays, among children, they will tell you stress. So we have come to this level that every level of the society, they get so stressed out. So it's important to understand, and so that we are not caught in those unhealthy, we say, stress. Meaning if we do not know how to handle the stress, and do not know where the stressor come from. So in our society, I think this word has been so common that everywhere we go, we hear people say stress. So by hearing the word stress, also you become stressed, okay? And so I think we have to be very careful with this word, stress. And so then, of course, the antidote is we say, you must learn to de-stress, okay? De-stress. So again, the word stress comes, but it's de-stress, okay? So, but these are the common things that is happening around us, a common word, a common happening. When we talk about the Buddha's in-depth talk about what it means by, the word dukkha, I think just now Sister May has also differentiated is that, of course, the depthness of understanding of this word itself, dukkha. So dukkha is not able to be translated into the English for word by word, okay? Many Pali words cannot be translated into the English just word by word, because it contains a very comprehensive meaning, yeah, of truth that the Buddha is highlighting to us. Yeah, that the whole journey of the Buddha is that 45 years, yeah, or maybe the first 6 years that he is discovering, yeah, or trying to discover what is the truth, yeah. And the truth is none other, the Buddha said, yeah, the 45 years of his teaching is what is dukkha, yeah, and what is the unsatisfactoriness of life, yeah, and how to actually overcome it. Yeah, so the whole package of what the Buddha teaching is about, and probably in common word is it, dukkha, and then how to overcome dukkha. So in English word, like I said, there are many words that they translate. One of the words that commonly used is it suffering, yeah. Another word that they use is unsatisfactoriness. Another word that people use is stress. So you can lump three together to indicate how serious it is that this dukkha that everybody is going through, yeah. But what is the real stressor? We said, yeah, the stressor can come from different aspects, yeah, of our life. But the Buddha pointed out very clearly, yeah, the stressor of our life, you can see from 3 levels. Yeah, one is physical. The physical one, I think, in the pandemic time, we can really see. Yeah, to be born during pandemic, I think is suffering. To get old, also suffering. Because why? They said, we give oxygen. Last time, got one time, oxygen give to the younger one. The old one, they got to wait to die because they said they are old already. Yeah, we need to give to the younger one. So aging is also the category that people say very high morbidity, right? So aging is actually that cause of the suffering. I mean the suffering itself. Then sickness, yeah. So sickness is a kind of suffering, yeah. And everybody know during this period, sickness is suffering. Just only hearing about somebody having flu is also suffering already, right? Not only talking about having it, but just only hearing somebody, so it can become a suffering, yeah. And then death, yeah, is suffering. So these are suffering that the Buddha point out to us very directly, very clearly, the truth of it, and not associating with someone that you does not love or unpleasant, yeah. Especially when you have lockdown, a lot of people go haywire because why? Last time they can run out from the house if they don't like the object. Now they have to face the object every day and then cannot go out, yeah. So that is really dukkha. And then the Buddha also said, when you love someone and you have to be separated, yeah, lockdown, one person at one side, another person at the other end of the world, so they can't come together. It's also suffering, the worries and all those things. So separation from your loved ones, or suddenly someone in the house pass away, someone, a loved one pass away. So it's a shock to the family, yeah. So it's also dukkha, right? So then the Buddha said, not getting what you wish, yeah, is suffering. Not just because you cannot get something that you wish, but here the Buddha said, of course everybody wish during pandemic, don't get sick, but you know, still get sick sometimes. Don't get old, but we still grow old. Yeah, don't die, but still people die. Yeah, and don't get separated, but still separated. Yeah, want to be with loved ones, cannot. Yeah, so not getting what one wish, yeah, is suffering. And at the end, of course, the cause, the real suffering is not understanding by the mere grasping of thinking that this body, this feeling and everything, the way we think, everything is belongs to me, I. And because of that misunderstanding or ignorance about the real truth of this body and mind, therefore, that's why the Buddha said, this is suffering. Yeah. So very in-depth. Of course, psychological part of it, of course, is we need to understand. because that helped to break down a bit to what we are exposed to and what we know that can be articulately understand. But what is a very basic dukkha? That's why the Buddha teach for 45 years to help us to understand that this is the real dukkha. This is a real stressor in our life. And this is not only for this life. If we don't understand it, this life, next life, life to come, we are going through this kind of cycle. So it's so important for us to learn. And I think today, Sister May has shared with us and remind us some of these very important aspects of how we can look at it and how we can actually try to understand a little bit more deeper. So both sides, from psychological part of it or psychotherapies, and why people get into that kind of suffering or stress, and how we can also use the Buddha's teaching to help us unfold that part of that understanding. So then we'll be able to probably next week to know more ways and means how we can overcome stress and live a more happy and peaceful life. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Aya. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Sister May, for your talk. Okay, thank you, Aya. All right.